everybody, Keto for Real Life people. It is 4 o'clock and I feel like I have been doing lives all darn day long. So, this is my last live of the day and I'm doing a dual live and I hope it works out and I hope the battery lasts in YouTube and everywhere else. But, I did a pork butt roast yesterday and I wanted to take a minute to show y'all what you can do 3 ways. I'm only doing one, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing with 3 different plates. So you can take one roast, shred it up, and you can end up, look, here's one plate of pork, here's one, a little bit smaller, and this one's pretty good size too. So here's what I'm going to do. This is great food prep, y'all. I feel so raggedy. But this is great food prep for the week. Or for the weekends, because we do have that coming up. So what I'm going to do with my pork butt roast is take one part of this. This is more than enough for a family. I mean, me and my daughter, this would, in Harvey, 3 adults could eat this and this would be fine. So this is just pulled pork. I put it in my Instant Pot. I added salt, pepper, and 1 cup of water. I cooked it for 2 hours because it was 4.6 pounds, so it was pretty good size. And took it out, and I wasted nothing. I threw away a sheer bone. That's it. For this one, I'm going to make a keto tamale casserole. Everybody's asking for that. I made it yesterday just to see if it would work. It did, so I'll do it again for y'all today. So I'm going to set that one aside. This one is the smallest plate. I only put a little bit because I don't need a lot. What I want to do is just wrap this one up and leave it alone. I'm going to put a little foil over the top, put it in the fridge because I'm going to take this little bit of pork and I'm going to fry up some cabbage. I'm going to add this pork to it, a little Chinese 5-spice, probably a little bit of green onion, and I'm just going to make like a egg roll in a bowl with this. But instead of using hamburger, I'm going to use pork. And that, again, will make another complete meal that will definitely feed 4 people or make 4 servings. So that's one thing I'm going to do with it. I'm not going to do one of these extended, drag it on, try to do a marathon of a whole bunch of different foods. But when I make something, you guys, I like to try to do multi-purpose things with it. Even if it's just a pork roast, I can break it down. I don't want 5 pounds of pulled pork unless I'm having a family barbecue. All right? So I'm going to set this one over here. And which plate seems heavier? This one does. So I'll keep this one for my tamale casserole. This one is at least 1 pound as well. All I'm going to do with this one, you guys, is put it in a bowl. And this is easy food prep. I mean, 1 pork roast. You could prep this 3 to 4 different ways, however you want to. You can freeze it for future, or you can eat pork all week, depending on your budget and what you're up to. Hey, right? So, hush. So this one, all I have to do is pour some Alterna Sweets barbecue sauce, which now I just go with the big ½ gallons because, hey, I do have a tendency to overpour a little bit. No biggie. So I'm just going to get my pulled pork. I'm going to let it pour I'm going to go ahead and put the barbecue sauce on it. That way it kind of soaks in. And I will put this one covered with foil. So we've got this. Weekend is coming. So I'm thinking Friday night. I've got a birthday party to go to, as you all know. Anybody who was on my live earlier today knows that I have a birthday party to go to this weekend, and I have to take something to go. This is quick, it's easy, it's out of the way, and now I've got some pulled pork. And voila. Again, super, super easy. You can buy those ½ gallons, by the way. Shush. Again, I'm going to do this with the foil, and don't ask me where all my Tupperware is because, hey, I have kids, they love my cooking, and I never get it back, so it's time to buy more. I always go to Walmart. Who does that? Who sends all their food home with the kids or sends it out on the road with their husband, and then all of a sudden you're out of storage. So, there we go. 1 plate is going to be egg roll in a bowl. 1 bowl is going to be pulled pork. Again, I'm just going to set that there. move this foil off. There. And now let's get down to it. I can't see. I can see y'all coming in, but I can't see the whole... I can't read it. That's what I was trying to say. Let me toss this. Let me put this here. Okay. Now then, I made tamale batter. I made this tamale dough. It's a masa. Just likes to pop on. And I made tamales with it, and those tamales are so delicious. But as in anybody who's made tamales know, they take a little time because you've got to get the masa made up. You've got to soak your corn husks for at least a couple of hours, and then you've got to tap your moisture off, and you've got to put your dough down in each one. Then you've got to make your filling, then you've got to fill them, then you have to steam them, and then you finally get to eat them. Pretty long and drawn out. That's why most people only have them a couple of times a year for celebrations. Other than that, we just buy them, right? We just go to taco trucks or vendors and we buy them. Unfortunately, being keto, I couldn't have them, but I wanted them. And one of my good group members sent me a video of a YouTube video of keto tamales, because they knew I was kicking the idea around. And I watched it, and I thought, well, it was a good hoorah, it was a good try, but it was nothing that appealed to me. Nothing. I mean, I did not want tamales made with cheese wraps. Basically, it was almond flour and cheese, a lot of cheese. So, let's get to it, y'all. Let's talk ingredients. Here we go. Lupin flour. Y'all know me. I love this. This makes such a difference in everything. So, it's a half a cup of Lupin flour. And I will tell you, I need to get a bigger container here. I was looking at some new ones. A half a cup of Lupin flour equals 1 cup of regular flour or 1 cup of almond flour. That's what I've come to learn in my workings of this. So you get a half a cup of this Lupin flour, and then I like to use a little bit of almond flour because it gives it that little coarse texture like you would find if you were using ground corn or cornmeal. So a 1/4 cup of almond flour. So that one's out of the way. Shush. I think I'm doing good, y'all. I have had a day with those pups. They're finally getting tired. Yes. Patience. And I'm still going for my 4th life today. All right. Now then, chili powder. This is the chili powder that I'm using. Hello, daughter. It is Fiesta brand, extra fancy light chili powder. And it's chili pepper, spices, garlics, and then it has the silicone dioxide free flow agent in it. Alright, so there's no sugar in it. I like this a lot. It was very hard for me to find chili. I used to buy it by the bag. You know, New Mexico red chili powder or California chili powder. Those are my go-to chili powders. I don't waste my time usually with like the little tiny bottles. They just, I don't know. I don't like those. This is pepper. This is powdered chili pepper. It lends that authentic taste. It really lends the authentic taste you want in true Mexican food versus the stuff that we buy in the little McCormick bottles that, you know, I just don't like it. I mean, you can put it in like chili with hamburger, but that's it. So this is what I use, and to this I add a little bit to this because when I'm making tamales, well, back in the day when I used to make tamales, I would always make my sauce up, and then I would have my prepared masa or masa preparada. I know I don't say that well, my accent and all, but that's what it's called, is masa preparada. And I always would put a little of my sauce into my dough. So I skipped that step, and I almost added too much. Add about a half a tablespoon of this right in there. It's going to give really good flavor to your tamale dough. I'm making this into a casserole though. Instead of making all the tamales, I'm doing the casserole. Shush. Okay, and then to that we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Now, when I came up with this recipe, I'm the type of cook that just throws things together, kind of by taste and feel. I made sure this time to measure as I went along so that it was consistent and I didn't have to try it again. Now here's an ingredient, and I don't like sharing it with y'all, but it's important. Do you have to have it? No. Will it taste different without it? Probably. But I'm using 1/4 of a teaspoon of the Amaretti sweet corn extract to give it that corn taste. And I'm just pouring it right on top of my dry ingredients. This is really easy to make, y'all. Making this dough is like super easy. Making tamales and the time-consuming part is pretty long and drawn out. All right, so I've got everything. Now to the liquidy ingredients, guys. I'm gonna add fat. And I told you, I am not wasting anything at all from my pork roast. So once my roast was done, I let the broth and the fat cool down. And I took the fat and I skimmed it off the top. So basically this is pure lard. This is pork fat. And I'm putting it back in here. When you're making tamales or tortillas, if you can use lard, you're going to get that really tender and authentic taste to your food. You can use an alternative fat. You can use bacon fat. But I'm going to go with pork fat. It is delicious. So I've got that. 1 egg. This is my binder, you guys. This is what holds it together and keeps it solid. Egg is like a glue. It does many things. And last but not least, I have 1/8 of a cup of water. Now, this is what I do. I just mix it all together. You could use a spoon, but y'all know me. I'd rather just get in there and mix it all up. I think it has my love signature on it when I do that. Basically, I'm just using my fingers like a paddle, and I'm just giving it a stir. And I want to make sure that egg is incorporated. I might try making it without the egg to see if it works, but when I started thinking about how to make this recipe, it was one of the first things I thought I needed. And what I like about this too is that it's dairy-free. There is no cheese in this. So that's a good dough consistency. If it felt too stiff, I want you to see this. It's just a sticky, gooey blob. Shush. But if it was crumbly or something, you can add just a titch more water. Just do it a tablespoon at a time. All right, so that's how fast it is to make the dough. That's the fast part. Let me rinse my hands off. Do this. Now, I'm using this size casserole dish right here. You can use one of those little square pans if you want, but I think this works out just fine. And all I'm going to do is a little nonstick spray. I've got some of this beautiful, this is one of my group members sent me a box and had a couple of cans of this expeller pressed coconut oil spray. It's pretty awesome. Gets a little wild there. Just give it a couple of titches so it doesn't stick. Shush. And then take your dough and plop it. It does, after it sits a minute, it absorbs more, so be patient because it's just right. Set that there. Do the old hand wipey thing. And then you just want to press this in the bottom of your pan. It's almost like it's going to be the base of your casserole. And just press it across. And you can double this recipe, no problems. I have doubled it already. This is my first batch, yes. Second batch was a double batch. So this is my third batch of tamale dough this week. The first one, of course, was to see if it worked. And then the second one I doubled, and I made some more tamales to make sure that they tasted authentic. And I had those ready for Harvey and Elizabeth for dinner. And I only did a half a dozen. And I put the other half of the dough up, and then I made the casserole with it yesterday. So now Elizabeth says, Mom, you could do some more casserole, can't we? I was like, okay, I'll do it live because everybody's asking about it anyway. And then you just want to press it down. That's it. I did no pre-cooking, no nothing. It's in the pan, just like that. Now here comes a little bit longer part, and that is making this chili sauce. Shush. Let's talk about that. I wish I could just come up there and see everything, but I have this going live on two devices. All right, so this chili is very versatile. I have been making this red chili since my oldest, during my first marriage is when I wanted to make it. So almost 40 years. No, I'm not old. Okay, whatever, I'm old. So I've been making this red chili my way all this time. You can use this as for tamales. You can use this to put the ground beef in. You can use this as enchilada sauce. You can make it spicier. You can make it milder. You can use a different broth. If you don't have what I have, if you're using chicken broth, that's fine. So just use what you have. It's super, super easy. So I'm going to use a skillet because I'm fixing to fire this up. And I think I'm just going to do it easy peasy. So be patient. I think this would be a better pot. Yeah, that was loud. I'm just going to use this pot. I used my Instant Pot last time. It was fantastic. So I'm going to set that right there. What I'm going to do is get this out of the way so that I have a little space to work. And I am going to act as if you can start with raw pork if you want to. Because 90% of the time I do start with raw pork when I make it. So I'm going to get an onion. It's just a small onion, you guys. It's not like a really big one. It's just a small onion. And I'm going to dice it up. When I'm using raw pork and you're cooking this on the stovetop, it is low. The rule of thumb is low, slow, and long time. Because you want your meat to be super, super tender. Because I have my pork pre-cooked, it won't take long at all. So I'm just going to dice this up. I had an electric knife sharpener, and I lost it somewhere along the way. I don't know what I did with it, but I think it's time to find another one. I like the onion nice and fine. You don't want large chunks of onion. You really want the onion to cook down and flavor everything, not be the star of the show. Shoot. I flipped myself. There we go. No fussing, puppies. They will argue and fuss. So if you hear that, it is my pups communicating with one another. They fight constantly, or I should say, get upset when the other one has something they want. They throw tantrums. Okay, nice and fine. I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to bring my temp. There we go. Now I want it to come on. Oh, do you bake your masa dough first? No, I did not. This is really super, 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 super easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rest of my fat. Please hold it. No, I cannot. And I'll tell you, there is a little bit of pork broth left in here. You know how it clings to the fat a little bit and then it melts down. But giving this just a few seconds in here, when it gets hot, that'll evaporate and I'll just be left with fat. That's how you render fat, is you get all the moisture out of it. So it doesn't matter if there's a little bit. You can definitely use bacon fat, coconut oil, olive oil, any high smoke oil you want to make your sauce. I like the lards and stuff like that because they really do help with the thickening too, it seems to be. I don't know if there's any science behind that, but it is what it is. I'm going to take a second. I want to get this nice and hot. I'm going to grab my broth. Now this is the broth. It was pure jelly, baby. I love it. I love it. I love it. I cooked that pork roast down. It was just, when it gets cold, it was just like Jell-O. So this is some healthy stuff, you guys. I could drink this. It is yummy. It's good for your gut health. It's good for your joints. Good for hair, nails, skin, all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and, I wish I could just get all the fat. But there it goes. You see how that goes? And if I need a little extra, I'll put a little extra. And to it, yeah, I think I do need a little extra fat. So I'll grab some bacon fat. And I'm just going to do a little pour here, just a teaspoon or so, just meat fat. So, can y'all see that okay? So I've got some fat, and I'm just going to take my onion first, I guess, and get my onions down in there. If I was doing raw meat, I would reverse it. I would put my meat in first and then add my onions, but my meat's already cooked, so. Don't forget, when you're doing onions, toss a little salt. Let them sweat a little bit. Enhance the flavor. This only takes a minute. I'm going to go down a notch. Give it a stir. It only takes a second. This is a small amount of onion. I just want it to get kind of tender and opaque. And then I'm going to drop my pork on top of my onions. And give that a little bit of a stir. Kind of just heat it up. It's already cooked, so I don't have to brown it too much. I just want to heat it up a little bit. Get this off of here like this. Go. And to that. Now I'm going to use the chili powder again. I'm going to be sprinkling this chili powder over the top of my meat. Then I'm going to add my broth. Then I'm going to add my thickener and my little bit of seasoning and pepper. Very, very simple. One thing that's in here is garlic. So if you want more garlic powder, use more garlic powder, but it's already got it in there, so. And you can make as little or as much sauce as you want, but this is just going to be, think about it. I'm making this pork and red chili, then I'm going to take that, I'm going to top it on top of the casserole, on top of the masa, and then I'm just going to bake it and put some cheese on top of it and bake it off. Off the chain. It's so good. Alright, let's see how much of this I'm going to use. And I'm going to eyeball it, y'all. I'm going to measure, but keep track, okay? Because I haven't put this down on paper yet. Like I said, I've been making this for almost 40 years, so. So I got my pork. Put this here. And 1 tablespoon. 2. So weird to me. 3. 4. I'm going to do 4. That looks good. My meat, can you see down in here? Give it a little stir. There we go. And now I've got 3.5 cups of, and I don't know, I've got 3.5 cups total. And I'm going to stir this. It smells so good. When you get that smokiness, don't burn your chili powder. But you get that smokiness and it's kind of searing a little bit in the pan. You can make this really thick and not as juicy. And I'm going to add, see, I used about 1.5 cups, so I'm going to use a little splash more. 1.5 cups. There we go. So I've got 2 cups of pork broth from the pork roast. So this is going to be very porky. It's that porky. Get it? And I'm going to give a taste. As I want to do on the flavor profile. Authentic trick. I got a little bit of oregano. Just a pinch, y'all. Just a little pinch. Does something that elevates that chili just a bit. Over there, over there. Now I'm going to give just a titch of salt. Do it to taste. If you taste things and you know to add too much, too little, you know, a little more, a little less. Add some black pepper. Again, to taste. Just want a little. It's starting to bubble now. That means I can thicken it. If this had been raw pork, I would bring it to the boil and then I would cut it back down to a simmer and let it go low and slow. You could even put a lid on it and just occasionally stir it, and you would do that for a few hours, okay, to get your pork really tender. But if you have pre-cooked stuff, whether you could use chicken instead of pork, make red chicken. You can use beef instead of pork. You can use chicken broth or beef broth. So basically you're just taking some fat, some onions, some protein, some broth, and you've got to use really good chili powder. You get that, let's scrape it down. That's good. Now, here's what I use to thicken it. And this is the konjac root. It's the glucomannan. If you go to your health food store, this is the Now brand. You can get it at any vitamin store, health food store. It says pure powder from the konjac root. So that's what it's. You can also look at on Amazon. They carry this brand there, but they also carry it by konjac root and other brands. So just look up konjac root or glucomannan. Glucomannan with 2 N's. So, well, 3 N's if you want to count one at the end. But anyways, this is a great thickener. It's one of my go-to thickeners when I'm making any type of gravy or sauce, liquid. When I'm thickening liquid, I like this because I don't get that slippery texture that I get when I'm using xanthan gum. Chicory root is one of my sweeteners, but it gets a little bit sweet, so I don't want to use that. I also have guar gum. Not so bad. I prefer this glucomannan because I think it just has a smooth taste. Now, I'll be honest, when I made the tamales, I started with raw pork and I cubed it. I didn't have shredded. But it doesn't matter, so I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of this to start out with. And it does, give it a second because it will thicken up. And I want it to be kind of thick because I don't want it to be soupy as it cooks down. And that's how fast this is with pre-cooked meat. I mean, I could easily let this thicken right up, and I could slap this down into some tamale husks or corn husks and make tamales with it. Heck, you can make some awesome tacos with this. You could make some enchiladas using the miracle dough and making tortillas with this. You could do a lot with this little recipe right here. Let me smooth this over here. And I'm going to give that a second just to thicken. I'm going to turn it down a notch, not in a huge hurry. And I'm going to come look at some comments. I'll try not to get in y'all's faces too much. 2 times in one day. Loving it. Yeah, this is my 4th live of the day, y'all. 4th live. Are you going to post the recipe? Yes, Laketa. I will be posting the recipe. It'll be on my website, and then once I get it on my website, then I can copy the links from my website, and I can post to Facebook and to YouTube. Oh, Jessica Ewing, how much weight have I lost or pant sizes since starting keto? What a wonderful question. So I started keto in a size 20 jeans, and I went all the way down to a size 8 jeans for a total of 74 pounds lost. In the last several months since I have started menopause, I have gained some weight, so I'm back up into my 10s and my stretchy pants. Recipe will be great. Great, thank you. That's awesome. Thanks for a dairy-free recipe. You are so welcome. True Mexican uses their hands. You're awesome. Thank you, Maria. How much? Let's see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sure chicken would be great. Chicken would be great, you guys. Oh, while we're at it, because I got to check on this, okay? I got to tell you, this masa dough, this little dough that I just put together, I've already thought of ways to play with it a little bit. For instance, if this were chicken in here instead of pork, you could take a rotisserie chicken, make this up, add quite a bit more broth, because I would make it into a chicken enchilada soup. You know the kind you get at Chili's? So I would just put that dough down in it and stir it as a thickening agent as well as a flavoring. It would have all the perfect components. I could add a little broth. So look for that, because I'm making a chicken enchilada soup, Chili's copycat, a keto copycat is what I'm going to call that. The other thing that I could do is make up this dough, omit the chili powder, and make a nice chicken soup with cilantro and lime, cauli rice, and make a tortilla soup with it. Again, using that masa as a thickener, it will be absolutely delicious. So I love finding a way to work around traditional foods and make them keto, and then being able to take one recipe and spread it out and go, oh, I'll make tamales. Oh, I'll make a tamale casserole. Oh, I'll make chicken enchilada soup. Oh, I'll make a chicken tortilla and rice soup. So one recipe, and I got 4 different ways to make it. To me, that's like, yes, 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 yes. Hit those like buttons. Okay, so this is nice and thick. Turn it off. I'm going to unplug it because I'm done and I don't want to listen to it anymore. There. All right, so here we go. Move this out of the way. Grab my pan. And now I just want to take, probably ought to use I'll just do it this way. And just spoon your meat and chili over the top of this. You'll get the idea of where I'm going, right? And that is a lot of protein. Right there. This is more meat in here this time than there was yesterday. There we go. And I still have a little meat left over, so I'll put it on eggs or something. Now I'm going to take, I've got some Monterey Jack cheese ready to shred. And I'm just going to shred the cheese right over the top of this, y'all. And it won't take long in the oven. I have it preheated at 350 degrees. I just want it in there probably 30 minutes, just long enough to cook the dough that we have on the bottom. If you wanted to save step and bake it, pre-bake it, I guess you could, but I didn't yesterday. I just poured it over the top and popped it in the oven for about 30 minutes. There we go. Get that extra cheese from around there where it's not wanting it. Just like that. There we go. There we go. I just don't want to save it. You know, don't you love it when you're like, oh, I don't need any more cheese on there. That's just the right amount. This is all I have left. You're going on there. I am not wrapping you up, and I can't stand the thought of throwing you away, so we'll just cheese it up. There we go. Huzzah! There we go. You can put this in the fridge or the freezer and have it ready for when you want to pull it out and put it in the oven. You can bake it and then freeze it. Totally up to you. If you were to bake it and then pull it out and portion it and then freeze it, then you would have these wonderful little slices of tamale casserole prepped in your freezer and ready to pull out of the tomatoes. There it goes into the oven. All right, y'all. You're like, now what, Nance? We wait. That's what we do, because that's a live. Lives are like that. I can't just cut away to the finished product. And unfortunately, I did not make one prior, so we will wait and we'll let it get all melted. But I will, in the meantime, just kind of wipe up my space. I'm going to get some cilantro out because it is delicious as the topper to this. Set that there. Hot water. Now, just get a little cilantro. You don't need a whole bunch. You don't need a whole bunch. As a matter of fact, I'll dump out that little bit of oregano there. And just get a little bunch of this because cilantro has such a wonderful flavor. I can put cilantro on anything. Some people say it tastes soapy to them, but not to me. Not to me, it doesn't. So I'll just get that prepped and then I'll slide on over. I'll grab some water. We'll sit down. We'll talk. We'll chat. We'll see what everybody's doing. I was going to change my shirt before I started today too, because I've already been live in this shirt. This will be my third time live in this shirt today. You'll be like, why is she back? What is she doing? Have I seen this one before? My humor. So just a little fine dice, a little fine chop, and a scoop. And into the little dish we go. Now, tomorrow, I'm thinking of this, well, tomorrow is only Wednesday. I keep thinking today is Wednesday for some reason. Kind of glad it's only Tuesday. Just saying. I got things to do. I'm going to be babysitting my little granddaughter, Alexandra, this week. She's going to come over tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I guess Aunt Elizabeth will babysit on Saturday, so their parents are working and schedules are off a little bit, so we're going to be babysitting. Alrighty. Bottle of water. By the way, for y'all on Facebook, if you didn't know it, I went and did a Keto Chow product review on YouTube, so if you want to go check that out, check it out. If you want to share it, share it. For those of you on YouTube, if you missed it, hey, guess what? I did a Keto Chow product review. It was pretty cool. It was pretty nice. Then I had to take a little break. I feel like I'm going to combust right now. Time for water. And I'm going to get a plate out because I will be plating this and showing you all the results. For now, I will come around and read comments, answer questions, and make myself available to you all. So, chicken would be great. Can you make with chicken? Yes, you can. I'm going to go this way, then I'll come back that way, y'all. It was good on YouTube. Aw, thanks. Hey, Nelda, rainy in South Carolina. Love that you're back. What brand of blender do you have? I'm shopping and I see one on your countertop. I have the Ninja and I love it. I got it 2 or 3 years ago, probably 3 years ago. Yeah, at least 3 years ago, and it is still like a champ. It's a food processor, a blender, shake maker, extraordinaire. I love it. It was 120 bucks on Amazon. Got it for my birthday. What temperature are you baking? 350 degrees. What kind of barbecue sauce is that? That is Alterna Sweets barbecue sauce, y'all. It is sugar-free. It is keto. It is my go-to. It is my ride or die of barbecue sauce. I do have a link for y'all, and I think I have a coupon code. I think. I gotta check and see. No cheese. Waste is blasphemy. I would pop it in my mouth. Except for I'm so full because I had a keto chow shake. Oh, goodness. My battery is getting low over there. Maybe I can pop my, I don't know. I can unplug one and plug it in another. Let's see. How is the keto chow way of eating going? I'm loving it, actually. Candy, once I stopped and thought about it, like today, I've been busy all day long. Hit the ground running before 6 o'clock this morning. Chasing dogs, going to the store, daughter getting off to work, getting my walk in, getting in a shower, getting this is my 4th live today, and just midday I made that shake before I did the YouTube live about it, and sipped on that during that, and I'm right as rain, like zero hunger right now, zero. And plus I feel energetic, and I like the fact that I'm not having to worry about my electrolytes. I love that. Let's see. Man, I just tuned in. Looks yummy. I'll have to rewind you. Always looking for keto Mexican recipes. Well, Lisa, you have come to the right place, because with the tamale, casserole, tamale recipe, you can do miracle flour and make tortillas. We're all about it. Or I am. I love my Mexican food. Green onions, too. Yes, Rita, I was going to put green onions on top of mine. It would have been delicious. Except for Elizabeth said, oh, I used them last night, Mom, so I don't have the car today. And so cilantro it is. Black olives would be excellent too, you guys. I don't have any black olives. I've got green and I've got Kalamata. But some black olives, some green onions, even a little dab of sour cream. I'm talking, you will be in love with this recipe once you give it a whirly whirl. Linda says, I wish I lived closer to you. Let's see. That one scrolls and this one doesn't. Make a few batches, eat one, freeze two. There you go. There we go. Freeze it. Yeah, seriously drooling. Yes, the corn extract. Let's see, I've had this corn extract well over a year now. I got it before, not this Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before. And I mean, although I'm not using it on the daily, I have been using it. And I am only, oh, there's the line right there. Hold on, let me turn it so that you guys can see. Oh, wait, let me see here. Oh, you can see it's about halfway gone, and I've had it for at least a year and a half now. Love tamales. Hello, love corn extract. Hey, PJ, Chef Santa over there. 4th live, 2 times. You're spoiling us. Yeah, well, I do have a busy week coming up. Like I said, I'm going to be chasing around 2 puppies and a 3-year-old for the next few days. Her big sister, Delaney Brooke, will be here after school as well. Husband's coming in, I think Thursday or Friday maybe. He'll be in sometime. And we have a birthday party planned for Friday night for my sister-in-law's birthday. So I've just got a busy schedule. And then the kids all come back, and Monday, oh my God, y'all, I'm going to have 7 grandbabies on Monday. There's no school. It's in service. It's my son's birthday. He has to work. They have to work. So Elizabeth has to work. So I'm going to have 7 grandchildren and 2 puppies and a partridge in a pear tree. Oh, yeah, this is good for a cozy comfort food. Elizabeth could not decide. She goes, oh my God, it tastes like tamales. Oh my God, it tastes like Frito pie. I was like, well, you know, when you put the 2 of them together, it's like tamales, Fritos, or corn chips. So it works. It's like, it is just deliciousness. Let me see what we're doing over here on YouTube. Oh, I'm going to scroll way down. Hello. Tammy says, hey, this is awesome. Twice in one day. Great ideas. Love it. Yum. Love, love, love. Long time no see. Will you use ground pork rinds for the masa or mixture? No, I will not. Made that once with corn husk. A lot of work, but worth it. You know, I saw a recipe with corn husks for tamales, and like I said, it was tamales and pork, what was it? Almond flour, pork skins, cheese, and I'm just like, no. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I got nothing against pork skins. I use them all the time for lots and lots of things, but I want the authentic flavor, so that's what this is. And another thing that I don't like if pork skins get soggy, they kind of turn me off. They kind of have that kind of chewy, they turn rubbery and chewy in a weird way. Like, I'm pretty stout. I love my food and all, but that one just turns me off, and I just don't want to. Hi from Ireland. Oh, I love it. Love tamales. Man, I'm coming at the end. I was at a conference call. Hello, Laketa. It's okay. I've got them in the oven. I'm just doing some chit chat with everybody. Not a big deal. It'll come out. I'm going to come over here on a Facebook and see if there's anything here. Chris DeLuca. Partridge in a pear tree. Yeah, 7. Oh my God. Definitely we'll be praying for you on Monday. The brand of chili powder is, let me bring it up close for y'all. Let me put this water bottle down. I got this at Walmart in West Texas. I could not find it at my Walmart in East Texas. But it is Fancy Light Chili Powder. I know it's in reverse, y'all, because I am in live mode and I have to face it towards me. So, but that is it. It's delicious. I love the smell of it. It even has a chili recipe, like for chili. I like this stuff. It's pretty good. The best barbecue sauce around. Yes, definitely. HEB carries it. Cool. Yes, soggy pork skins can't reheat chicken strips made with them. Blech. I agree. Totally agree, y'all. I didn't realize I was doing this and then maybe covering y'all up. Sorry, YouTube. Yeah, well, again, I bought it at a Walmart, but my Walmart doesn't have it. Isn't it funny how, depending on where you are, region to region, town to town, what they stock and don't stock? The barbecue sauce. Oh, let me get it for you. I gotta put a package together and give it away because I've got extra barbecue sauce, I think. I might not. Don't. I'm just talking to myself. So it is Alterna Sweets barbecue sauce. Love. Water, tomato paste, blackstrap, molasses. Oh my God, molasses. No, there's something special about it. I've talked to her. White distilled vinegar, erythritol. It's not special about it. It's just that it goes so low on the glycemic index, it doesn't affect your blood sugar. That's what it is. Butter. There is butter in this barbecue sauce. Sea salt, natural smoke flavor, spices, citric acid, onions, paprika, garlic, stevia extract, and red chili peppers. There, it has, and it says claims milk product because it does have butter in it. But I love their barbecue sauce and their ketchup. I love their classic ketchup, and Misty knows this. I've talked to her before. She's like, her favorite, it's her product, is the spicy ketchup. It's okay. I'm not knocking it. It's just not my thing. I like spicy. I like ketchup. Don't go for a lot of spicy ketchup. But then again, I'm not a huge ketchup eater in the first place, so. It's like vanilla or any other extract. Good barbecue sauce. Circle flour. Show us a picture, please. Circle flour. Emily, show us a picture, please. Oh, miracle flour. I get it. This was circle with flour, like a flower you smell. I was like, I don't know what that's about. Let me show you. And again, I can share links for ingredients. I'll be sharing links for recipes. Oh my goodness. I have an open bag. I get mine on Amazon, y'all. I buy free 1-pound bags for $29, and that is what the Miracle Flour looks like. And I love this company, and I love their product. Again, anybody who knows me, there's about 10 products that, you know, I just stick with it. You ever get like that? Like, you like a certain brand of something? Well, that's me. I love Wholesome Provisions Miracle Flour. It's raw, vegan, plant protein, gluten-free, high flavor, non-GMO, kosher, made in the USA. It's a high-quality product. I don't have to worry about it. It's 100% Lupin flour. So that's my go-to. I was having a conversation with somebody about Lupin flour, and they're like, well, it tastes so nasty. It's so bitter. You know, Lupin flour is very, very bitter. Only when it's raw. That's the weird part about it. I'm like, if you're using Lupin flour, and like for instance, when I make my chocolate cake with it, the Dark Desire chocolate cake, it's 100% Lupin flour in there. No other flour blended at all. If you mix the cake batter up and you think you're gonna stick your finger in it, and no, it tastes terrible. It does. It tastes bitter and yuck. But once it's cooked, it's no longer bitter, and it's smooth, and it tastes like regular flour products, and you can just munch it right up. That Dark Desire chocolate cake. I know there's some people over there on Facebook who's already made it, and they like made it over and over. It's delicious. It's just not delicious raw. Isn't that strange, but true. Let's see, over here on YouTube, I have the Lupina brand of that flour. I've only used it as breading. Now you're going to have to explore and make some tamales with it, make tortillas with it, make pies with it. I've got all kinds of Lupin flour recipes, and I continue to try to pop a new one out every week. I would like to be at the spot with Lupin flour that is as common as almond flour. And for now, I'm pretty much, you know, out here with a very small group of people who use it. So I'm sure as it catches on, everybody and their brother will start, you know, figuring out ways to make it work. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the excitement of it, because it's great to come up with new recipes. Y'all seem to don't mind new recipes, right? Right? You like new recipes? Linda Hardman. What is the name? Oh, we did that. Hi there, Keto Mama. Hi from Puerto Rico. Hello. I love all of this from all over the place. Only Amazon. Just got mine last week because no one had it. Sprouts, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, no one. Yeah, no, you're not going to get it. Lupin flour is a hard flour to find locally. Walmart sells a version of a Lupin flour blend. Buyer beware. Do not buy it. It has rice flour and all kinds of other flours blended together, including Lupin flour, and they use Lupin flour as the selling point, but it's not the real deal. I like that the Wholesome Provisions sells 3 individually wrapped 1-pound bags. So you could take a couple of bags of it and pop it in your freezer and then open one at a time, and you've got sealed bags still put up. I think that's very convenient. Our Walmart here, clearance, their Lupin flour. It wasn't just Lupin. See? Yeah. And it's just one of those products that, like I said, not a lot of people, it's not mainstream. It's not mainstream yet. You guys don't realize, hey, we're lucky. Me, you, or you, me. We are lucky. We found Lupin flour. I found some Lupin flour, started playing with it. And while we might have to get it on Amazon, man, we are ahead of the game. Like I said, when it bursts, when it finally catches on, like rice flour and coconut flour and almond flour back in the day, they weren't mainstream flours. You had buckwheat, and you had corn flour, and you had wheat flour, and you had bran, and you had, but almond and coconut and those flours were not mainstream. Now you can go to Walmart and buy them there. What? Be ready. Not at all. Keep them coming. There we go. Clearance. Let's see. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Do you freeze it? Well, I covered that. Talking through the speakers. Sorry. Candy says Alterna Sweets is bomb.com. There is no other. I need a shirt that says my keto heart belongs to Alterna Sweets. Mindy is a genius. Misty. Yes, she is. I'm going to see. Watch it. I'm like, watch it. Step aside, please. I'm going to try to unplug this phone real quick and plug in this phone because battery was low. Save! I'm going to give this a quick check in here. I did not, hush, I'm not talking to you, Siri. I'm going to see where we're at with this. Need some. Whew. I tell you what, it is warm in here. Oh, looky here. Hot and bubbly and delicious. Now, I don't know, y'all, if my crust is done because I don't think it's been about 30 minutes. But it's not a lot of crust, so it's not going to have to looky there. Yes, yes, yes. Does that look great? And it's all nice and hot and bubbly and brown. Again, I would highly recommend topping this. You could definitely use green onions, some black olives, some sour cream, and I'm going to just let it set for a minute because it has to, and I want to make sure that my crust is done. Yesterday I had it in there 30 minutes and I pulled it out and it was done. Could have been done in 20, could have, but I let it go for 30, so. Let's see here. I have this cute little spatula right here. I want another one too that's a little longer. Let me see here. What's a little? Yeah. I like little utensils. Do y'all love little utensils? I do. I got this one at Walmart. It was $1.88. I think this is a Pampered Chef one. I don't know. No, it just says stainless steel too. Either way, I like one's long and thin, the other one's a little short spot, and I'm going to use it to cut through the cheese. Cut. And then press down. I don't want my cheese to. I don't want my cheese to sink in there. And I'll do this way. This way. And I know, like anything, whether you're keto or non-keto, when you're making a casserole, it's always better to just let it sit. I mean, because you want it to kind of cool down, let everything meld back together, let the flavors jam in. And you can't take a bite of this right now because it's too hot. But for the sake of time and this being live, I'm going to go ahead. Oh yeah, it's done. Look at that. That bottom crust is completely done. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. I do have some sour cream. I do. I do have a little bit. Do a dollop, do a dollop. Do a dollop, do a dollop. And I'm just gonna look at this. This is, you think what, this little pan of food is gonna feed people, but yeah, it is. Because here I cut out just a little section of it, and it's a humongous serving. And it's a lot of protein and fiber. Let me grab that. Let me bring this around to you guys. Can you see how beautiful that is? I want you to see the crust. I'm going to lift it a little bit so that you can see that crust. See, there you go. Look, that crust baked right up. It's going to give a nice little texture all across the bottom. Then you've got all that meat and chili and cheese, sour cream to cool it down. Let me show you. There we go. I'm going to set that back down just like that. the sacrifices I made for y'all. I have to take a bite. It's gonna be hot. I might burn myself. But I'm gonna come around on this little corner piece right here. Because you guys know how I do. I'm trying to make sure that oh, let me do this. Do this. As always, I say this. I want you guys to make it, please. I want somebody to try it, and then I want you to post your pictures of it on the Keto for Real Life People page or in group, and then I want you to let me know what you thought. I want your feedback. It's one thing. Elizabeth is going to be so pleased with that. You know, it's one thing for me to taste my own cooking and say, it's so delicious. Of course it's delicious. I like it. I made it, so therefore, you know, I'm going to like it. But I am validated when somebody else tries it and then they're like, oh my gosh, it was awesome. I've made it over and over and over again. I can push this out a little bit now. I feel like it's in my face. It makes it all worthwhile when I see your pictures of it. So I can't wait for you to try it. I can't wait to hear what you think of it. I can't wait to see what, you know, your thoughts and tastes. I just want to know if you love it. Okay, let me, scroll for this one. As soon as I get my corn extract. There we go. Hey, honey bunny, my honey is in there. Candy, you're amazing. Oh, hey, I'm amazing. Who knew? Diana. 1 net carb per serving, super high in fiber. What is the carb count in Lupin flour? Yes. Per quarter cup of Lupin flour is 1 net carb. There are 12 total carbs in a quarter cup of Lupin flour. There are 11 grams of fiber in it. There are 10 grams of protein. So it's very high fiber, very high protein. It is very, very filling. A little dab goes a long way. That's why I said, guys, I just took a little section off of that little pan, and it is a very generous serving. If you wanted to put a side salad with this, make it a complete, pretty meal, fine, but you are going to be very, very full, very full. I used a half a cup, so it has 2 net carbs for the whole pan of Lupin flour. Okay, so as far as the Lupin flours, there's 2 net carbs for the whole pan, but I'm going to be cutting that down into at least 4 to 5 servings. I could easily get 5 equal servings out of this little pan. So the carb count comes down dramatically. If you were going total carb, 24 divided by 5. So it would be 4 total carbs per serving. Can't beat that. And then we've got meat, which is 0 carb, some chili powder in there, but the broth, the fat, cheese, I mean, very, very, very balanced, very keto friendly meal. Oh, I am sweating. I am sweating. Oh my God, it keeps changing my words. Yum, I really should not, but that is big size. Yeah, you can buy smaller bottles of barbecue sauce, y'all. There we go. I'm reading. I have the Lupina. Yep, what was the first flour you used for the tamale mixture? It's Lupin flour. Okay, I think I can smell it. Felix said, not if I was home, my servings are large. Yes, they are, baby, but I swear, this, I mean, seriously, this for me or Elizabeth, that is still I mean, look, that's a good size serving, especially if I were to have like a salad with it. Of course, he would skip the sour cream too because he does not like it, but he can flat out eat. He can. Hands down. New favorite. And that's usually the way it goes, guys. Whenever I make a recipe or create a new recipe, the first week it's trial, error, try it again, make sure. Because you don't want to just make it once and go, ooh, that tasted good. I have to make it a couple times, get it out there, get a feel for it, share it, and know that it's going to taste good. And then I'm done with it because I'm usually burnt out. Like, After this week, I'll be like, okay, I don't need tamales for another year. Maybe next fall. Enough to make me hungry. That's it. Candy. What size is your pan? You know, I don't know what size pan this is. Can I just tell you? I don't know if it's cool enough for me to pick up yet. Let me see. This is just one of those casserole sets, you know, where you get the nesting size, and it's the smallest size. So I could measure a little bit here. Hold on. A little ruler right here. So this is, let me flip this around, 6 inches. So I can go from there, 6, 7, 8. It's about 9 inches long. And it is 5.5. So it's like a 9 by 5 little glass casserole. It has the thing on the bottom. I think it's by Anchor. I don't know. It's too hot for me. That's as far as I'm going. I did my best. Where's recipes? Recipes have to be typed out and added to a website. Pictures must be taken, and all things must happen in due time. But you have this tutorial. It was very simple. You can follow along. It was very easy to do. And then I will, in the morning, get to it and type it up and get it linked up. And then I will share links all over the place. Thank you guys for coming in. I hope you enjoyed this evening's tutorial. It is already 5:20. I'm burning up. I'm just going to go sit out on my porch and cool down. You guys have a wonderful evening. Remember, fats first, moderate protein, low carb, and get you some. Let's see here.